becomes very terrible. But beyond that also is the fact that because it is difficult to push for your right, it becomes normal for the poor to simply lick their wounds and then just take their fate like that. Because if you're going to say, no, this is my right, I want to insist on it, I want to be compensated, or I want an apology, you're going to spend the next 5 to 10 years pursuing that. And then most of the time, even getting your bail for that matter is terribly difficult. The system in itself is very, very cumbersome. So these are why the poor became very, very, these are some of the few reasons why the poor is very vulnerable and therefore need help. Of course, there have been various interventions by various NGOs, and more often than not, these interventions address the tip of the iceberg by having meetings with the heads of what you call them of detention centers, try to talk about policies issues which they actually know about. But the issue is this: there have not been any way of enforcing these policies that are on ground. We have a lot of wonderful laws, but they are still not helping the poor because the vehicle for helping the poor has been made deliberately cumbersome. It is in the light of this that RULAAC is providing, definitely with the support of Open Society Initiative for Justice, or SUA, and other foundations, providing access to justice for the poor and the vulnerable. So that if you have justice on your side and it is clear that your only challenge is inability to fund your access to justice, or inability to access justice because it is difficult and cumbersome, RULAAC is making a way available for you to access justice. We're going to help you access justice despite or irrespective of your pecuniary situation. We're going to make it less difficult for you. We're going to be your voice. RULAAC is going to be your voice, and it's going to help you to push for justice. So this avenue is being made available. We are expecting the public and the general society to access them. We're going to see to how to make sure that the poor and the vulnerable got justice. The essence is not only justice for the poor. The end result is to curb impunity and corruption. Why? Because by the time we begin to hold accountable the people that hitherto were not held accountable because the people to whom their impunity were perpetuated were voiceless. But by the time we begin to hold them accountable by the instrumentality of the legal framework made available by the law, we will begin to see an end to this operation. So while RULAAC is operating both from the top, we are also operating from the below. While we are interfacing with the policymakers, with the stakeholders, we are also helping those who are victims of the system to hold the stakeholders to account. That way, we can have a decisive approach to curbing the menace of impunity and corruption. Thank you very much. My name is Samuel Akpologun.
So, the reason
domestic violence is a crime, and there are criminal provisions. There are criminal legislation that properly address crime. For example, simply the criminal laws of each state. Domestic violence is a crime. The criminal laws of each state properly address them. Now, to bring it further home, the essence of for example, the Lagos State domestic violence prohibition law is to make the criminal law to have a family face. So that rather than it being so much of criminal, in a criminal parlance, have a quasi-criminal disposition. So that we don't just throw your husband who has beaten you to prison. We still understand that it's a family as the breadwinner of the house. If we arrest a man that, for example, did not feed you today and you don't have a source of income yet, then we have actually worsened your situation. That's why you see women eventually coming back to bail the same man that they, arrested. So these are the issues. So domestic violence law have to give it a family face to say, okay, now you have done this, rather than sending you to jail. The next time you do it, you're going to go to jail. So there's a hanging sentence. So that is the essence. Now we also have the back Act, which has been domesticated by some in some quarters, and these are the laws that we have. It covers the field. Our problem is execution, implementation. Now, the implementers, for example, the implementation is in the hand of the court, and for that matter, after the court. How do you access the court in the first case? That's what we're talking about. It's difficult accessing the court. And after passing through all that gamut of experience, implementation, at the end of the day, someone just sit back there and with impunity make sure that even the orders of the court is not carried out. So, until we begin to address the issue of implementation, our laws will be nothing but paper tigers. So, we don't need more laws. We need implementation. And another thing I think is new, which everybody may not accept, is that we are having an over-dependence on legal and punitive measures. All our laws, all our punitive measures are simply reactive. They can't be proactive. It is after someone has been abused that you arrest the person. Or it's after someone has been killed that we need to begin to look at some other structure that are preventive. And that is where I think we really need to sit down. There are many, I don't have the time to talk about them, but there are many things we can do. Look at countries that are not so much of punitive measures. For example, Holland and a few other countries who look beyond the Scandinavian countries, who look beyond sentencing to some other means of avoiding crime. You notice that criminality is lower in such places than here. The more they say that, because that is the nature of man, the more you say don't do this, we are going to beat you, that is the more they become very, very daring about it. We need to look into what are the likes of these Scandinavian countries, what are they doing that are making their jails to be empty. We need to begin to look into those things and then see how we can implement them here in Nigeria.